I'm Vic Myers. Welcome to the Resistance. In the early days of this country, the founders had a very specific fear. They had just fought off a king who stationed armies inside their towns. They worried that the new federal government might someday do the same thing. I mean, think about it. A standing army in the hands of one man could become the tool of a tyrant. That fear split the founders. Federalists like Madison argued that a national army was necessary to defend the country. But he also admitted that it could be dangerous in the wrong hands. Anti-Federalists like Patrick Henry and George Mason, they were a little more blunt. They warned that any president with an army at his command could crush liberty itself. The compromise was the Second Amendment. Madison introduced it, but it was rooted in the anti-Federalist demand for a safeguard, not as a license for stockpiling weapons, but as a constitutional check on power. A well-regulated militia meant citizens organized through their states, forces loyal to the people, not to a distant capital. That was the safeguard of a free state. Now, more than 2 centuries later, those fears don't sound so distant. Donald Trump just declared Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War. Not a real thing, by the way. He promised to show the fierceness and brutality of this new department. It's not a campaign bluster. That's the current president of the United States threatening to violently turn the military inward on an American city. So what should a governor do when a president talks like that? My bet is that if this were 200 years ago, whether it were Washington or Adams or Jefferson making those kind of threats, governors wouldn't have hesitated. They would have called up their militias and prepared to defend their states, because that's what the Second Amendment was meant for. To make sure no president, no matter his name, could use the army to crush the people he was supposed to serve. Because the question, well, it really isn't about Chicago. It's about whether any state remains free when the president claims the right to unleash war on his own citizens. That's the line the founders warned us not to cross. So call your governor. Remind them that their duty is to protect the people of their state, not to bow to a president who threatens to use the military as a weapon against the American people in any state. Thanks for listening. Good day.